Welcome to the Meb Faber Show, where the focus is on helping you grow and preserve your wealth. Join us as we discuss the craft of investing and uncover new and profitable ideas, all to help you grow wealthier and wiser. Better investing starts here.
Meb Faber is the co-founder and chief investment officer at Cambria Investment Management. Due to industry regulations, he will not discuss any of Cambria's funds on this podcast. All opinions expressed by podcast participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Cambria Investment Management or its affiliates. For more information, visit CambriaInvestments.com.
The assumption is the amount of debt is just so high. It's like we're just an inch away from falling to our economic death because debt is a huge problem. And I don't want to downplay it in the sense that like it doesn't matter. It does matter. It is a lot of debt. But the way we're framing public debt in public discourse is exclusively counting the dollars, the amount of debt, either in trillion-dollar space or in debt to GDP space. Right? These are the two ways we're talking about debt. Is that really meaningful? I don't think so. And the book argues we should take a different lens analyzing debt. It is really about the relationship between the nominal growth rate in the economy that allows you to service the debt and the nominal interest rate that you pay on the debt. And when these are structurally with a gap where growth runs ahead of interest rates, well, then honestly, whether you have X or Y amount of debt is not critical. The critical point is the spread between nominal growth and nominal interest rates. That is not to trivialize that we have a lot of debt and that we should rein it in and we should pay some of it down and all that. But countless headlines are written every month about how many $1 trillion in debt we have. It tells you very little about risk. What tells you about risk is if the 10-year yield rises persistently above the level of our nominal GDP growth, that's what would get me worried. But the incremental $10 billion of public debt is not a metric that I watch to assess the risk of sovereign debt in the US.
There's always two things that I think about anytime someone brings this up. The first being that debt is also someone's asset. So grandma's clipping a 4% coupon or whatever it may be. But the bigger one, and I've seen this a few times, but I love to see the balance sheet of the United States. Nobody's like, here's our debt, but also here's our assets. Here's what this looks relative, which is always interesting to me to see kind of that comparison. It puts things a little bit into perspective because everyone always wants to assume that debt is very similar to our own personal debt. And it's not how it works. But it gets confusing for, I think, a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, part of it, of course, is held elsewhere. So the creditors, if you will, they're outside of the US in part.
Podcast listeners will post show notes to today's conversation at mebfaber.com/podcast. If you love the show, if you hate it, shoot us feedback at themebfabershow.com. We love to read the reviews. Please review us on iTunes and subscribe to the show anywhere good podcasts are found. Thanks for listening, friends, and good investing.